So, Assalamu alaikum. This is Shama Tuzara, and today my topic now is the cardiac tamponade, and it's my third video on the series of videos on cardiac tamponade. And today we'll focus on how we will diagnose a patient of cardiac tamponade. So, starting our discussion, we know that for every diagnosis, or when we start examining a patient, we start with history and examination. So first steps every time in every disease will be we start with the proper history and examination of the patient. So classical signs that we'll see will be back stride, that will be important in the patient, plus increased heart rate, that is characteristic, pulsus paradoxus observed in the patient, that is characteristic. These three features, they are characteristic in a patient with cardiac tamponade. So if we diagnose these three features within a patient, we can suspect that he may have cardiac tamponade, and we are almost sure over it, and then we confirm it with further investigations. Now second investigation, that is, you can say, echocardiogram. Now in this echocardiogram, it's a very important point, and importantly you should know that echocardiogram is the most sensitive, I'll tell you why, and most specific plus non-invasive test to diagnose cardiac tamponade. Why most sensitive? Because we know what is happening in cardiac tamponade, that there is fluid in the pericardial cavity. So even if the fluid is less than or equal to 20 ml of fluid within the pericardial cavity, can also be detected by this echo. So it's very important. Plus during the echo we can see that there is increase in the size of the right atrium. But most important finding is this fluid is seen within the pericardial cavity. That is the most important sign that is seen in the patient. Fine. Plus all this we'll see on the echocardiogram. Then moving on to the third investigation, that when we go for chest x-ray in that patient, what we'll observe is that, of course, the cardiac silhouette, that is also called the cardiac shadow, that will be enlarged, of course, because fluid is spent in the pericardial cavity. So cardiac silhouette will be enlarged, seen on chest x-ray. But when it will be enlarged, if there is greater than 250 ml of fluid in the pericardial cavity. So this investigation is also not too specific, because if there is less than this quantity of fluid, then it won't show enlargement of cardiac silhouette and no characteristic findings. And along, this is the status of our heart. What else we can see on x-ray? That we know we can see the lungs. So in this case there will be clear lung fields. These two together bring a very good suspicion that patient can have cardiac tamponade, and they confirm this diagnosis too more commonly by the echocardiogram. Fine. Now moving on to ECG. ECG we have to do in almost all diseases, but in this case echo is more important. ECG gives us a good finding, but we can't exactly or completely rely on ECG for the diagnosis of cardiac tamponade. We can't completely rely on it. But which characteristic finding will be seen on ECG? Very important. Now we know that ECG shows difference in the cardiac amplitude throughout the whole heart. So in this case what's happening, that there is fluid in the pericardial cavity, and suppose this is the heart and this is the pericardial cavity, so it is basically moving to and fro within the pericardial cavity with each contraction. So what characteristic feature we'll see is, that's called electrical alternance. Now what does this mean? That there is alternate, very important, that there will be alternate, means one increase one decrease. So alternate beat to beat variation in the QRS amplitude. Why? Because when the heart is moving, the cardiac axis is changing, but at regular interval. So cardiac axis will be changing, so QRS amplitude will be seen changing, but alternate beat to beat variation will be seen. So like you can say that with one beat QRS was high, with a beat QRS was low, this. So this is basically what we call electrical alternance that is seen on ECG. But again, ECG, for the diagnosis of cardiac tamponade, we can't completely rely on ECG because of course it doesn't give characteristic findings. Moving on to our last modality which we can use is that cardiac catheterization. Now we know that cardiac catheterization is an invasive procedure, but it gives us very important findings. So fifth finding is the cardiac catheterization. Now what we do in this technique is basically we find out the pressure within the cardiac chambers. So as we know, we discussed in the start that what's the characteristic finding in this disease is that the diastolic filling pressure is elevated. Why? Because of course it can't relax properly, so there is increased pooling of blood within it. So diastolic filling pressure is raised, and very important, this elevated pressure is then equalized among all the chambers of the heart. Very important, equalized among all the chambers of the heart, and that will be seen on cardiac catheterization. Plus the JVP, jugular venous pressure waveform, it will show characteristic findings. What it will show is that first of all, what is the waveform? It is like so. This is the waveform normally. So this is the A wave, C wave, X descent, V wave, and the Y descent. So more importantly, we're talking about is X descent and the Y descent. Descent means coming down. So in this case, what will happen, that there will be a prominent X descent seen, but very important, there will be loss of Y descent, and this is characteristic for cardiac tamponade. Now this disease resembles the constrictive pericarditis, and what characteristic finding is seen in the constrictive pericarditis, that there is prominent X descent plus this loss of Y descent in cardiac tamponade, differentiated in constrictive pericarditis as the same. There will be prominent Y descent also. So this is in constrictive pericarditis. So this is basically an important point which I've explained here of differentiation between cardiac tamponade and constrictive pericarditis through cardiac catheterization. But as I've already told you that it is an invasive procedure. So if someone asks you that which procedure is preferred in diagnosis of cardiac tamponade, so that will be echocardiography, because it is specific, it is more sensitive, plus it is a non-invasive procedure. So thank you very much. This is the whole discussion for today. How we'll diagnose a patient of cardiac tamponade. Just a quick summary of it. How we will diagnose it, that first of all, we'll take history and examination. 3 characteristic findings: backstride, increased heart rate, pulsus paradoxus. Echocardiogram will show characteristic finding, it is most sensitive and most specific test. Chest X-ray, it shows increased or enlarged cardiac silhouette with clear lung fields. ECG will show electrical alternance. And our last modality, cardiac catheterization, it will show diastolic filling pressure raised with equalization of the pressure within all chambers of the heart, and JVP waveform show characteristic findings of prominent X descent and loss of the Y descent. So thank you very much. I hope you liked the video. I hope it made you easy to diagnose this patient. Allah Hafiz. See you in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe, and more commonly share the links so that my effort is accomplished, that maximum people will avail the benefit which I am trying. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.